Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this online seminar. So today we are going to present the results of a project funded by the MRIC under the special COVID funding, which was initiated last year during the COVID-19 pandemic. The objective of this grant scheme was to provide people with the opportunity to present their innovative ideas to help the country get through the COVID pandemic. So these innovative ideas were the objective was really to help people of Mauritius to improve their livelihoods. So today we are pleased to welcome Mr. Adil Abubakar, who was working on the Pazble project. And Pazble, in a nutshell, is an mobile-based platform to register for people looking for jobs. So without any further delays, I'll hand over to Adil for him to present his project. So Adil, over to you.
Okay, I'm on. Thank you, Vikram. Thank you for the introduction. I'd also like to thank the participants who've been able to make it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your presence here. Actually, I've no words for it. Actually, this has been a long journey, and it coming to some form of fruition now it really means a lot. So I'll actually start with thanking the MRIC, who's been wonderfully supportive on this project and to actually initiate the round of funding. Vikram has been of monumental assistance all the way through. We've had a bit of a hiccup at first, trying to finalize the project, but I think every project of this magnitude, obviously there are certain obstacles that you face, but we've braced it. And Miss Siddi Bojo as well, who's been very patient with me, who's always been here to answer our questions and really braved the month that we took to finalize this project. And I also really want to thank Dirish Nunaram and Vena Pavade from Verde Frontier. They are the ones who actually pushed me to apply in the first place and to make sure that this project comes to completion. And not to forget Ganesha Murugan from Augment. We actually initiated this project together. He's been very helpful and actually saved the soul of this project at some point where it totally bugged. So thanks, Ganesha. We'll chat right after this presentation. I'd also like to thank Sophie Love, who's been one of our first members. Really great feedback as well. And especially thank you to Met Magua, who's also given her feedback on the legal aspect to it. Like I will touch on this subject through the presentation. We are including some form of legal commitments when people sign up for jobs and contracts. This is something that's not done usually, and we're exploring this perhaps new ways of formalizing informal work. And I'd like to thank my parents as well. They always support my ideas and show a lot of patience. That has always been the case, and really grateful to them. And thanks to my friends, thanks to you, all the delegates who are present today. So I'll get into the gist of the project, why it's there, what it's attempting to solve, and how we believe this could potentially help people. Maybe the workers, maybe the employers as well. So because I do think it's a two-way traffic. Employers need employees and employees need employers. So I'll start with a quick view of where we stand at in terms of employment and unemployment rates. As you well know, three big sectors have been affected: manufacturing, construction, tourism, and we just went under the 10% mark in terms of unemployment for Q1. We're now at 9.8%. But the reality of it is that a lot of an increasing number of persons fell outside the labor force. The latest figure is at 470,000. That's quite something. So the impact on the labor market is definitely here. And I do hope things will get better. I do hope that in the coming month, in the coming quarters, with the opening of the borders, we'll see the light at the end of the tunnel here. So the idea of this platform and the rationale behind why the application was lodged under potential projects that could help alleviate the impact of COVID-19, especially to provide a platform for people who've perhaps lost their jobs or having issues or difficulties with finding jobs, offering a platform that can facilitate that. We do think it was something that that was due. But I will also say this, that the platform, the way it is structured, offering this platform for people to connect and for people to find jobs, has been something on my mind before the crisis. And I do think, and I did observe that there was a trend towards offering a space to blue-collar workers to find jobs. So even if I do believe, I'm very convinced that it will help people in these times, I do think this platform will be effective even after the crisis. So the whole idea started with a friend who's here. I think he hasn't joined yet, but he will probably join us later. Yavin, whom I've been discussing with before the crisis about developing this platform, and eventually when the call for proposal was out, and I thought this is very timely. So there's a tendency for people to actually see the benefits of working freelance. So other than helping people network, those who perhaps have lost their jobs or have had to go through pay cuts, there's a increasing tendency for people to shift towards the gig economy, so being a freelancer, so they can work multiple jobs. So this platform potentially will offer them an outlet for their branding, to get people to know them. It also, I think, serves for those who want to be working for their own account. Talking of platforms for blue-collar workers, again, there's been a tendency around the world, huge platforms being deployed, and they have really marked a presence, in the sense that this section, I think this section of social media we see out there, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter, it's really underservicing blue-collar workers. So there's been a couple of companies that I've seen, and the major ones, I mean, among the major ones I've seen, it's based in the United States, called Jobcase. It's huge, and they really give this idea of a community where workers can come in, speak about their concerns, and employers can join the community and look for quality labor. So it's not just in Mauritius, so it's a worldwide trend. As far as Mauritius is concerned, I've seen two platforms which are operational, and they've been operational before, well before me. One of them, I think they were the first ones, is from ENL. It's called Nos Réseaux Artisans. It's a web-based platform and very friendly, very nicely laid out, very clean as well. And they've, I think, helped a lot of people find jobs. And there's another one which I found really cool app called Travail à faire, and they've actually done a very good job in deploying their platform. And I do wish them all the very best. And they've actually spent a lot of investment in that. And again, there's Shafiq who was on board as well, and I do hope his platform is going to be operational soon. So all that to say that there's a tendency for people to want to get into that space, and I think it's brilliant, because I do think that the more tools that people have at hand to network and get jobs and connect, the better it is, and it will also help us and each other to improve on the tech that we're trying to provide. Quickly, before I get to the actual presentation of the platform, because I'm not going to drag this too long, I'd like to just talk about the underlying forces as well. I mean, that joins my first point about the rationale of this project. It's about, I just briefly want to touch on that. The force of technology. I mean, technology by itself, I do think it's deflationary. So especially right now, where we are, well, we are first of all in a country that imports most of its basket, and we obviously noticing a depreciation of the rupee, and everything becomes expensive. But it's the case all over the world as well. I mean, inflation is the topic of today. Countries all over the world are struggling with that. And one of the major causes of inflation as well is labor cost. You find that if you have a look at the US, for example, the employment situation is improving. But then again, what is happening right now is that companies are struggling to find workers, you know. So what's happening is that workers are increasing their wage rates. So what happens is that that also causes inflation. But when I say technology is deflationary, I mean it in the sense that technology actually lowers the prices of goods and services. And in this case, the underlying forces behind a platform that offers jobs or networking, what's going to happen is workers compete against each other. That doesn't mean you have less employment. It just means that you have an outlet for more employment, but at the same time, it reduces the prices. It brings the prices to a fair level, and potentially that could act as a stabilizer for inflation as much as the labor rate is concerned. But that's just a very broad macroeconomic force behind this. And the MRIC, actually, I'll touch on that as well. I see that MRIC investing and believing in projects, taking the chances, taking the risk. And I do think that in the long term, that can only improve the overall quality of tech that Mauritian entrepreneurs can deploy. So, but that we can touch on another day. I think it's a lengthy topic. It's a lengthy debate as well. Some people may agree, some not. So I would like to invite you. I think all of you are seeing my screen right now. So what I'll do, I'll run through the platform with you, and I'll go through the features, and I'll also give some reasoning behind certain features, and I'll also touch on the features that are not yet there and why we think we should include them. So here we go. Passbit.com, it's there, it's live. We were on beta phase for a month now. Now we're live. It's really easy to sign up. I log in with my password first, and then I'll show you how quickly you can actually create an account. So that's my profile. You can log in, so that's the homepage. So basically, what we want to do here is provide the work function. So people looking for jobs, people applying for jobs, or even people posting jobs, but also a community sense. So that's the news feed and the workshop. So the site is actually broken down into two main parts, the workshop and the news feed. I'll also touch on the left side, the sponsored ads. So right now it's only us advertising, and also on the advertise on Pazble function, which right now is not at all functional, but we put it there because we're going to deploy that function in the coming days. The idea is to actually provide a platform that can sustain itself. So we are very strong believers in enterprises that can self-sustain. So in this sense, we intend to provide spaces for people and also companies to advertise on the page. But obviously, we need to generate enough interest and enough users first. So we are aware of that, and we plan to actually reach out to as many people as possible. But at the same time, we are going to take it slow. We are going to do what needs to be done in order to provide a quality platform. So right now, if you access the site, it's working. You might notice a couple of bugs. And the reason why I'm finding this webinar super interesting and getting you guys on board is to also get feedback. So right now, I would very much appreciate any feedback you may have. Try out the different features. Things bug, please send me a text or send me an email, whatever. I would love to hear from you because I'm planning to continuously improve this platform. It's not the end of the journey right now. In parallel that we do the marketing and reaching out to people, I want to continuously improve the platform, make sure that it's international quality. I'm not discounting that. I really think we've got the potential to develop high quality platforms, whether it be in social media or elsewhere. I think we have the competencies for that. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. On the right side here, we are going to launch very soon a little competition called Pazble Master. Kind of a gamification of it. I mean, it's fun too. So we'll actually give credits to users for certain actions they've done, not just posting stuff, but also getting jobs, getting good reviews, and generally contributing to the community. So we're going to actually, we're still working out so this is coming soon. Pazble Master is going to be a nationwide competition, and we're going to think of cool prizes as well for people who win the competition. And it's going to be season wise, so I think 3 months or 6 months, and reset it so we can get new people on board. This said, I would like to just make a quick pause to announce that every participant today, I've got all your names down, and those who are attending, and those who actually open an account with us, you will be credited with, I'm thinking 10 Passbit credit. Might not mean much now, but down the line, it should make sense. So I'm recording you as as a token of appreciation. So that would be 10 Passbit credits going to you. So you will be automatically signed up for the Passbit Master. Who knows, you might get a cool prize. I'm thinking like a weekend in a hotel or something even better, who knows. So basically, this is the landing page, and we're hoping for companies or workers to advertise with us. And I'll start with the workshop. So two main sections, the workshop and the newsfeed. So here's the workshop. So you simply click on it and you have a job board. Obviously, I've done some tests, and this is where you potentially see all the jobs that have been posted. Right now, there are only 3, obviously, just from me, and I do hope people will participate and post. Quite easy to post a job from the workshop. So you simply click on the post a job function and looking for collaborator, etc. I'm just gonna quickly write it down. Actually, the whole gist behind this platform is to provide swift post, something very simple, not complicated, and also staying away from all the noise. Although somehow we need to find the right balance of providing enough functions and to keep it simple as well. So I'm just going to go with something simple, domestic cleaning. If it's not listed, maybe I want something more specific. I want someone who's got experience, and I want someone who can be available, let's say, twice a week, and the location is already there. Here we intend to provide a little Google Map plugin here, just to quickly uh, put a more precise location. So that's something like that can be easily integrated. So I can pay per month. So 1,000 rupees, let's say 5,000 rupees, start dates, end of month, next month. So all these are integrated in the platform, and I can actually put an expiry. Right now, there's no notification for the expiry date, but this will be integrated very soon. So you post a job, it's done, and you can actually see the jobs that you've posted. That's from you, and you will also see the people who have applied for the jobs, and you can accept or reject or message them. And on the jobs applied, you can also see the jobs that you've applied for and the status, right? So if the person accepts your job that you posted, then there's a contract. On that, I'm gonna put a little parenthesis there. This is something that we will be integrating in the platform very soon. And when at the introduction of this webinar, I talked about the legal aspect. We are actually studying the Workers' Rights Act to be able to devise a contract that will be generated for every job that is accepted on the platform. So we will have to be very careful about that too, of course. But what will happen is that when you apply for a job and the other person at the end of the rope accepts you as a worker, there's going to be a contract that will be automatically generated and stored in the back end on our server. So what will happen is that the person who owns the number obviously has to be identified, and whether it's an employer or an employee, they will be identified in the contract, and we want to make sure that this is potentially enforceable. So that will provide some level of protection. Right now, in the informal working space, if you are a plumber and someone calls you to repair their taps, and you show up there and you agree on a rate, let's say 2,000 rupees for you to repair the tap, and you repair the tap and you expect payments, and somehow you don't get paid. I've actually witnessed it. So you go to the authorities and you want recourse. Obviously, you've done the work, but then there's no recourse. There's no trail. There's no paper trail. So what happens is that these people actually lose out. And so what I'm proposing here, and at the same time, it works the other way around. So sometimes you will have a worker that comes and agrees to work on a certain job, and when that person finishes the job and it's not done according to the plan, and still they want payments, or you've done a down payment and the work is not done. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it with waterproofing people. Actually, we had a huge story with a waterproofing company that came and they agreed on the work, and eventually they did the work, we paid, and the house was still leaking. But then you have no recourse. There's no contract signed. So we don't usually sign contracts on there. But if you go through the platform, at least for security, you sign a contract automatically stored on there. If there's an issue, you know you have certain kind of recourse. I do hope we don't reach there, and I do hope the percentage of people like signing up here do not have to have recourse to the contracts, but I do believe that it will serve as a deterrent to people who are employing and to people getting employed. So that is going to come. And all that will be integrated within this, and you will be able to access your contracts as well. So please bear with me, because this is a new venture for me. This is a first. So but at the same time, I'd like to touch on that subject as well. I mean, it is a first, but at the same time, I coded this platform from scratch. There was no framework used. I basically took Sublime Text and started this platform from scratch. So I know the ins and outs of it, and I can integrate whatever feature that I think would be beneficial for the platform and integrate. So this space is bound to see some progress. I'm confident in it. I will do whatever it takes to make sure that the tech is at par. So you also have a newsfeed section. I'm going to run through it quickly. So basically, classic newsfeed. Hi, Sophie. Thanks for your post. So basic news feed. Actually, there's not a lot of features here, but like actually, I'll take it from a quote that right now Pazble feels like an empty apartment. It's there, you've got the structure, you've got the walls, you can sleep in, but there's no furniture, right? So, well, there's some furniture, but we need to improve it. We need to make it homely, and this is going to happen over the next couple of weeks. As before I conclude this, I will talk about how we intend to market it, and I will touch on actually putting the proper furniture and making it homely. So, basic news feed, you can post, hey guys, and you can include an image as well if you want to put your image and you preview your image and you post. It's as simple as that. And people can actually see you post and comments, etc., etc. So this feature is very basic. I understand that it's not Facebook, it's not LinkedIn, but then again, it's a start. And I will be gathering your feedback, and I will be improving on the different features. For example, there's no sharing feature, which is something I really want to get on board. Sharing in private messages or sharing to other users. So basically, that's the news feed where people can actually interact, post about their concerns. I will also be integrating posts where you can add a topic. Let's say you want to talk about a certain section of the workers' right, or you want to seek recourse, you've been fired from your job, or you're looking for new jobs, you can talk to the community about that. So hopefully people who are probably not necessarily workers, but other users who have the right competencies, sorry, can actually jot in and discuss. So that's what I think makes us a little bit different from other platforms, is we're combining the social interaction aspect to the recruitment aspect. I don't know if Emmanuel is here. We had quite a nice discussion about the whole recruitment industry. No, he's not, but I'll brief him. So combining the social media interaction with work, I think it's quite a nice mix. So yeah, let me just quickly browse through the other functions. So obviously, notifications where people mark your post, you can have a look what's happening. And I also integrated a private message function that you can interact with other users. And this feature as well requires some improvement. It's going to happen. I wanted to make sure that it works. It does. And this whole blank spaces is going to be filled with items that are useful to the chat. Right now, I just wanted to make sure that this works. And most importantly, people who are interacting with workers, or workers interacting with employers, they can, in all privacy, discuss, right? So this is a private space between users. And I will also be creating the possibility of providing rooms where people can actually discuss. Let's say there's a team and they want to discuss a certain aspect of work, they can actually create rooms and discuss there. And obviously there's the connection feature, the classic friend request. Vikrama, I sent you a friend request. I think you haven't accepted yet. Yeah, basic. I think people are familiar with that Facebook style network, not calling it a friend request, just a connection request, but it basically follows the same thinking. And fully customizable. You have a settings place where you can upload your picture. You can change your picture here. Well, mine is a GIF, a dancing GIF. And change your account, close your account. You have a professional tab as well for your status. You can either look for work, or you can be an all-rounder. You can be someone who's looking for work, but at the same time, someone who is employing workers. You can, by all means, be an electrician who needs a plumber. So that's perfectly understandable. And also you can actually fine tune your skills here. Very simple right now. It's a drop down list. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible. The visuals of that will be improved as well. This is a classic plugin that we're using, but obviously we'll try to make it more more appealing to coincide with the overall feel of the site. And you can write a little bit about yourself, click updates, privacy, very important as well. Right now, I've got my current option set to yes. So people who go to my profile will see my phone number. You can obviously change it to no thanks, and people won't see your profile number. So I'll just go to my profile quickly. So very simple as well. So you'll have a bit of a summary of what you do, and you can post something on my wall. So basically, that's my wall. One thing that's missing here, if anyone noticed, is a photo gallery, which is in the pipeline. This is something that we should be deploying very quickly. I mean, it's way overdue. The photo gallery is very important in the sense that it will provide a space for people who want to showcase their work. Very important. I mean, I think this platform is incomplete in a way without this feature. At the same time, we wanted to make sure that the server is adequately beefed up so that we can support photos. And at the same time, videos as well will be eventually plugged in. Right now, you can post a link from YouTube or Vimeo, and it will show on the wall. But what will happen is that we don't want to necessarily depend on external links. So we want to be able to post our own videos, but at the same time, request some investment in the server capacity, which we will definitely do. So this is something that's coming up. You can watch this space for it. And also you have a little help feature here. You can discuss with Pazble, help me. And you can use that to send your feedback as well. I definitely will read all of it. So feel free to send me your reviews and feedback. And last feature is you can search for people. So if I search for Vikram, I'll actually see Vikram here. Well, a bit disconnected. Yeah. So last thing, there's also the review feature. So let's say actually I've contracted with Vikram, and Vikram did work for me, and I want to review him. Initially, I proposed the idea of having like stars so you can review, but then I decided against it as to I didn't want to review people in the sense I don't want to give like 3 or 5, and it can always be susceptible to giving space to people giving bad reviews because they're in competition with each other. So I wanted to avoid that. So really easy is the wall post. So you can actually review the worker on the wall post. So you can say Vikram is good, Vikram has done his work well, or whatever doléance that you may have, you can post it here. But at the same time, gives the worker the space to reply, right? So it's not a one-way traffic. So it's pretty much it. I really would like to invite you, please sign up, have a look around, and let me know what you think, features that you feel that could be cool on the platform, things that you see. I would really value that. So it's taken me a long time to deploy that, but it's not the end of the road. I will continuously work on it. And again, sorry, the next phase of this. So right now, it's a mobile responsive site. So if you go on an iPhone, for example, or a mobile, this is how you see it. So it's fully compatible with any mobile device, iPhone 8, iPhone Plus, iPad mini. So it really adjusts. So even landscape, whatever, it works, right? So someone with a browser, the only difference is someone will have to go on the browser for them to be able to access the site. As per my commitment, this is going to be available on Android version as well and iOS. But I'm exploring new tech now because I'm thinking of developing it in React Native, which is the trend right now. And I do think it's got a very powerful framework. And I'm just still debating on whether to move forward with it or not. But it's definitely happening. Before we get to React Native, we may also deploy a web view in terms of Android application. But this is happening. So we will have an application and at the same time have this cool private messenger feature on there, make sure that people can share videos, share photos, which you can't right now in the private message. So this is happening. I think I've touched on most of it, and one thing that I'd like to talk about is how do we deploy that in the larger sense? How do we get it to people? And there are many questions there in the sense that um, it's an open platform. What's basically the whole debate between what is a blue collar worker and what is a white collar worker. I tend to draw the line where if you imagine someone who doesn't have a profile on LinkedIn but would like to be visible online for work that he does, um, he would fit in Pazble. So basically, I'm not saying I'm LinkedIn, but I'm saying that I'm providing the similar space to LinkedIn. In the sense that today LinkedIn, if you want to assess a company, you want to assess the board of directors, you want to invest in the company, and you want to know who are the people behind, what you do is you generally go on LinkedIn. You find out some company just appointed a new COO and you want to know what's the background of the COO, you go on LinkedIn. You're a recruiter, you want to find out, you want to actually source potential candidates, you go on LinkedIn. So I want that. I mean, I see this is probably the direction that we're heading with this. So with Pazble, if you're looking for a worker, trusted worker, you go on Pazble and you check the profile. You have the ability to assess that person, call him, message him, give the time for you to do your background check. The difference between my platform and other platforms right now in Mauritius is that the other platforms actually apply filters. So they would actually go through some kind of interviews with the workers. Here, there's no interview. They can freely open an account and get going. But at the same time, it does. I mean, I do realize there's a risk. But then, like in every tool, there's the good side and the bad side. Like Facebook, it's a great tool for people to connect, advertise, but at the same time, it's a dangerous one as well. So it depends on how people use it. So uh, we are not here to judge. We're here to provide a platform, and we are born with free will, so people are free to decide what they want to do with it. But we'll try to make sure that all the terms and regulations are met. Start with privacy, which is definitely our front concern. Um, so we've got the proper privacy structure right now, but we will keep on improving that. Keep on improving on cybersecurity. Got a very good friend who is going to help me on that. So that wraps it up. But then on the marketing side, what we're intending to do is to obviously, I mean, have some sort of online presence, the usual routes, social media. I mean, so use other social media to get users on our social media. That's how it's done, I guess. But at the same time, this will be a hybrid model. I will be personally going to different institutions, starting with the NGOs, village councils, and I'm hoping to be in touch with training institutions as well. Uh, get people on board, go there physically, showcase what the platform does, and explain to people how it works and how easy it is to sign up. So I will be doing that. Just to quote, I'm actually in discussion with an NGO in the south who are working with people who've been impacted by the crisis, especially those who are, they used to work in Blue Bay, the Plaisance. Right now, there's absolutely no work there. So, but these guys have other skills. I've actually discussed with someone who will be in touch with me very soon, who was working in a hotel, lost his job, but he's good at waterproofing. So he's a perfect fit for this platform, and I'm going to reach out to him and try to get him on board, and at the same time, create a network for him. Um, Training institutions, especially the young people who are out there with skills but no visibility, have some sort of, have a background in tech, or at ease with the platform, they are definitely going to fit here in Pazble. And so what I'm saying is, I'm going on a hybrid model. It is a digital platform, but I'm very well aware that for people to get on board here, there will need to be some physical presence. And I'm going to do a roadshow. I'm going around. And for people with no smartphones, I'm also going to provide forms, consent forms, application forms with the consent, that we may create profiles for them, at least have them have a visible profiles. Obviously, it's going to be an issue to manage, but we're hoping that, if they find that they're getting calls from people who are ready to employ them, they might be interested in getting engaged. I mean, today, smartphones are becoming more and more affordable, and I do hope that a large majority of the people here would be able to get them. So I would like to say that this is not the end of the road again. MRIC, Vikram, Ms. Siddhi, you've given us the push that we needed. This is a platform to stay. We're going to do what needs to be done to make sure that it works, and also impacts positively the lives of the people around us. So my ambition is to actually make this platform a reference. I know it sounds big, but I do think we are capable of doing that. Make a reference in Mauritius, show that the platform works, it's useful, it's user friendly, the tech is at par, and at the same time show it to other countries. I'm saying that Mauritius today has the competency to export when it comes to IT. I mean, we are often debating about how to rethink the economy. I think we have the right skills right now to actually provide IT services to others, not the classic ones, but I'm talking of what we usually do when we outsource development to India, we outsource to Ukraine, we outsource to Russia. So we find like young people, young graduates, and we outsource our work to them and then say that, we built it here, when it's not the case. With Pazble, we've built it here. We've sat and coded this platform from scratch, and we can do similarly for other platforms. For clients who want to outsource their work to us, I think we have the right skills for that. At the same time, that will bring foreign currency to the country as well. That's a source of foreign currency that we should not neglect. So I think that's 45 minutes. I think I've overdone my time. But just to say that we are here to stay, and we will keep on improving the platform and make sure that, we aim to be the best. There we go. Thanks a lot. Vikram, I think that wraps it up. I think I've talked a lot as usual. Yeah.
Thank you, Adil. Thank you very much for your nice presentation. So I think there are two questions. I see Miss Elodie, who raised her hand a long time ago, so I'll let her talk. And then there is a question from Mr. Lecordier, which I will read. So no, I don't think there was a question then. So let me read the question of Mr. Vincent Lecordier. He said he missed the first few minutes, but maybe you addressed it. He wants to know, why did you decide to create a blue-collar job website specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Why the blue collar? Well, first and foremost, I do think it's an underserviced segment when it comes to social media. You have LinkedIn for the white collars, you have Facebook for the general mass. But then again, Facebook is not just jobs; it's for everyone. A lot of gossips there. Unfortunately, a political tool these days. Yeah. So why the blue collars? I do think it's basically underserviced. Someone, generally speaking, what is funny now, what I've always found funny is the most essential jobs are those which are underpaid. I can't imagine living in a society without electrician, plumbers, teachers, well, music teachers, or manual laborers, gardeners. It's impossible to conceive. And so everyone is in a rush to get online. Companies are there to have a visibility. People like build the whole personal brand on there. And I don't see why a plumber cannot be a star plumber. So the idea is to provide a platform that's not only functional, but also aesthetically appealing, something that's basically sexy. You're on there, you have you value your work, you value your brand, uh, basically providing them a tool to establish their brands. And if you go on the field, you speak to plumbers, there are actually influencers among them, but it's very informal. I'm saying, well, you know, the influence that you have, you can bring it online. And at the same time, it's not just for the workers to get work, but it's also for employers to find quality workers. I mean, today we struggle to find trustworthy people to come into our homes and do a proper work. So through this platform, you will be able to filter and actually reach out to quality labor. So basically, that's it. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you,
But then
Adil.
again, why a blue collar job website? I'll also ask you why not. You know.
Okay, so there's another question from Jagriti Punjabi. Says, I understand that this is an open platform and anyone can sign up. And you mentioned that you'd rather steer clear of ratings and reviews. As an employer, how do I separate the wheat from the chaff when
Mhm.
hiring talent? In
Okay.
other words, how does Pazble ensure the quality of employees signing up? Is
Mhm.
there a due diligence process on your part or basic criteria of an employee must meet so employers have a certain sense of security?
Absolutely, it's a great question. I will start with what the current practice is. So right now there are two platforms, like I mentioned. ENL has one and Travail Affair has one. Great platforms, and they do apply the filter. The big concern here is how do you ensure that you have not only quality work but also people you can trust. So how do you filter that? I mean, this is a major concern, and I do think that the promoters behind these two platforms have had that and they don't want to take the risk. What I'm doing here, yes. So there's no review, there's no star rating, but there's a wall where you can actually post reviews about the person. But I'm also giving the opportunity to the workers to actually answer that. So if I say, well, you know, I post something on someone's wall and say, hey, you haven't done a good job, you got paid for it, you're a crook, whatever it is, and that's not actually the case. So the person can actually reply and say, no, no, well, I've done the work, and he has a. I mean, there are always two sides to a coin, right? So the filter, I mean, it would be left to the users to determine that. I don't want to intervene in the sense that I don't want to be a judge. I want to give the possibility for people to do their own assessments. That's why we're providing the tool to users to actually interact. I highly recommend, and I will make sure that in our communication, this is properly said that people need to do their own diligence. I don't want to apply a cost to freedom. I want people to feel that they're free on the platform, but at the same time, they need to use that freedom wisely. So yeah, I hope I answered the question. But yeah, definitely is a concern, is a risk, but I don't want to undermine freedom because of that.
All right, thanks. There is Dirish says that for the initiative, it is important to be able to to connect to blue collar uh, people who do not necessarily use data and smartphone as a means to obtain clients. What are your ideas to connect those people, as they would probably be the ones that
Mhm.
are quite good at the jobs?
Absolutely. Thanks, Dirish. Absolutely. This is a main concern. And for sure, I mean, we talk blue collar workers, we talk online, digital. I mean, we are actually among the lucky few. If we talk of global population who have access to IT, who have access to electricity to start with. I mean, our next door neighbor in Madagascar, I mean, I think 60% of the population do not have electricity. So yeah, I mean, in Mauritius as well. I mean, there's a huge growing, unfortunately, push de pauvreté that's there, and it's just insane. So how do we reach these people? And like you said, these are people who are actually probably very good at their jobs as well, but not very good at IT or having online exposure. So precisely why we are going to have a roadshow. We are going to reach out to the NGOs who are on the field out there who know these people, And we are going to actually, it's quite sensitive, but the idea is to provide forms, Pazble forms, where they can fill out the names and say, well, this is me. Whatever you've seen there on the website, like skills, profile, etc., we'll gather this information and create. We'll have someone to help us on that as well, to create profiles for them. So, but obviously they will not be able to manage them. They won't be able to answer messages, but they will have a specific profile tag that says, this is just an announcement profile, as this is me, and we're going to fill out, to create profiles for them with their phone numbers, obviously with their consent. So this is going to be clearly explained. So this is how we intend to reach out to people without smartphones.
Thank you, Adil.
This is why I'm
Yeah.
calling it a hybrid model. Yeah, both digital marketing and on-site marketing. Yeah.
Right. There is another question from Elodie Cass. Is it possible as a worker to get some guidance to better market myself through your platform?
Absolutely. Hi, Rogie. Thanks for your question. And I do hope you will be able to help me on the communication down the line. Of course, no commitment. Yeah, definitely. I'm working on a tutorial right now on how to not only navigate the platform but how to build brands. And I'm going to work with a collaborator at the same time to create videos as to how to use the platform, but at the same time how to develop a sexy brand. Not just and we need to provide the right tools for that. I mean, if you look at Instagram, they have a lot of cool features where you can actually build a nice page. Facebook as well. I mean, when you look at someone's Facebook page, it tends to give a lot of it gives a sense of what the person wants to portray. So, but they have the right tools, they have the proper features, and this is something that's going to happen. So the layout of the profile right now is simple, but it just provides the message. But I do think I need to provide the flexibility to the workers to customize that. But yeah, we will provide guidance on that, not only through the platform, through the help feature, but also create videos, and also like use influencers. I mean, I've got nothing against that. Provide support to influencers to show to other users what they can potentially do with their profiles. So we will give examples. I mean, I myself will be upgrading my profile. I will use the full feature and provide an example of what can be done with the tool. Yeah, definitely going to happen. But if you have other feedbacks, Elodie, I would love to hear from you, and whatever you feel about the platform and what can be improved. Definitely would be grateful for that.
All right. Thank you, Adil. I think there are no other questions. So with this, I think I would like to thank you very much on behalf of the MRIC. I see one more.
Okay.
Yes, there is from Nawaz Uzia. He says,
Wow.
"Hi Adil, great initiative, kudos. As you are probably aware, the pain I'm going through with the construction at the moment and contracting with these jobs. However,
Yeah.
I do have an issue with reviewing a job, like an electrician. Is there a way you can assist?"
However, I do have an issue with reviewing a job like an electrician. Is there a way you can assist? Well, I didn't quite get that. Yeah. If you're having a review issue with reviewing a job, well,
Maybe in
like
terms
oh,
of,
okay, so you want to give a bad review on the electrician? Well, you can. So let's say your electrician was on Pazble and you, yeah, that so basically you will have to go through an interview with him. So let's say you want to source an electrician from Pazble, you start with posting something on a news feed. "Hey, anyone out there knows an electrician?" Or you can actually search for a profile that has skills electrician and find from them, or you post a job that would potentially attract some contenders. And then it will be the onus is on you to actually see the profile, see what they're about. But at the same time, you'll have a direct contact with them. Call them, see if they fit the profile, and decide from there. And then check the walls. If there's no profile, I mean, there's no how to say that, there's no comments or reviews on his wall, then I would advise you to be careful on that. I mean, you wouldn't engage with someone. Maybe it's a fake profile too. Who knows? At the same time, I mean, this comes to mind right now, an initial idea which I'm still debating on as to whether we can verify profiles. So, but we need to beef up the privacy structure first, because right now we're probably not ready, but this is going to come, of uploading IDs and proof of address. Because if you have a contract, you obviously have to have an address, right? So I've touched on the subject earlier. So this is in the pipeline. So people have the choice to upload the ID and proof of address. That will give a sign as to whether this person is serious or not. And when they do that, then they'll have a badge saying that they are a verified account. Then yeah, that in a sense will, I think that touches on the question for Jagriti as well. Yeah, so this is a feature that is in the pipeline, but at the same time, like I mentioned, I want to give the onus on the user to do their own due diligence and make sure that they're employing people who are trustworthy or not. But then again, like there's always an element of risk in everything we do, right? So for you to give a feedback on the electrician, you can check online whether they have a feedback. If they do not have, you can reach out to them and ask them, like, have you worked before? Then have a feel from the discussion you have with them. It's an open platform, so users can interact with each other.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we've reached our time now. I would like to thank Adil for his very good presentation, and also all the participants who
Thank you.
have contributed to this project today, to this presentation. So on behalf of the MRIC, I wish Pazble good luck. And I think it's a very good add-on to the ecosystem here, and wish you all the best, and hope to seeing Passbly successful soon. So thank you,
Thank you.
guys. As you are aware, this presentation will be available on our online platforms, and should you wish to post your queries to Adil directly, you can either ask him directly or go through us. Thank you very much, and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.